Welcome back to the time and space in the world where we bring you all things Star Trek related. And we were having a little bit of technical difficulties.
No. Timing is everything.
Timing is everything.
You have no idea, guys. He literally just joined the room, Jason.
Right when we were
right
live.
at the end of that intro.
That
I
was
popped in literally
perfect.
during the opening credits, and I'm just like, and special guest star.
me.
Crazy.
I'm Captain Joe Dove. Welcome back to the Captains Quadrant, the podcast where we're talking about Star Trek, all things Star Trek. This month we are talking again about Star Trek Prodigy, and I think we are amiss if we do not welcome our buddies Jason and Jason at Law, our good friend Jason from Australia, and Jason and Jason's body from Texas. And I'm Joe. This is the Triple J show. So let's keep that in
Indeed,
mind.
I feel
as well.
so young and virile.
Let us, before we jump into our first, let's say hello to our friends out there. We've got Geek Filter. Greetings. How are you?
Geek
Live long and
Filter.
prosper.
Hello.
And of course, our good buddy Nita. Good
Hello,
morning.
Nita.
Hi. We are on an earlier time because we had a lot going on and we wanted to make sure that we didn't miss all of our friends out in the ether. So let us get out of this realm of intros and hop into First Contact.
Thanks.
It's a real classy show if you're watching for the first time.
This is the level of comedy you're going to get from this show.
Yeah, exactly.
We set the bar low and then bring a shovel.
So there was a lot going on, and we got our oldest satirical sitcom episode of Freaky Friday, where we do a body swap. And
It was Freaky Friday.
It was Freaky Friday.
Or, if you also remember, like father, like son, or vice versa.
Yeah. This is
The 80s when it was body swap everywhere.
Everywhere. Everything was body swap. Now, what happens if we could body swap?
Yes.
Let's body
Just
swap.
a
Let's see how
fun
that
way
goes.
of having a different voice come out of a different character. Yes.
Yeah. And I thought it lent itself pretty well. It kind of closed some gaps that they were having with solving the big issue and making Janeway look less like, how do you not know what's going on? It kind of unleashed the veil, so to speak. Jason and Jason's body. What did you think?
It's
Your
about
first
time.
contact.
I have to say, this is probably one of the most overused, stereotypical after-school cartoon, G.I. Joe, Thundercats, Transformers. Let's just put one voice coming out of a different body kind of thing. But Brett Gray and Kate Mulgrew sold it and made it, I thought, hysterical. And there were some really great moments in this episode. I'll wait for them until we get to pros and cons. But I thoroughly enjoyed it a lot more than I would have if I'd known what this episode was about ahead of time, because I do think I would have facepalmed and gone, really? We're doing the body swap episode? Really?
Yeah, it's good stuff. It sells. And you know what? Kids love it.
Oh, they do. Every now and again, I do have to remind myself that Prodigy is aimed for a demographic much younger than and I just have to roll with it and quit being such a grumpy old fart.
Yeah. Jason, what did you think?
Well, I think you bring up a good point about the kids, because we have to probably also remember this could be the kids' first time seeing a story like this.
That's right.
As
'cause
much
they haven't
as
done it.
Us old men have seen this done so many times. It could be a kid's first time of seeing a storyline like that. But you are Jason and Jason's body is 100% right. I feel, by the way, can I just say I feel slightly uncomfortable and vulnerable with his name? Just saying.
Jason
and Jason's body. Yeah.
I did not know. Are you guys swapped?
Let's just move on. Yeah.
Your uncomfortability brings me all kinds of joy on this Christmas season.
It's the performances that made it work. That's what really kind of drove it home, especially Kate Mulgrew, who we know is an elder actress at this point. Just pulling off the voice of being Dow was just like that youthful energy, that the finger guns, the whole thing. I loved it. I loved the whole performance, not only her voice performance, but the physicality that was infused with Janeway because of Dahl. I thought it was good. Yeah, it worked. It worked well. it's obviously a setup episode, and obviously we'll get about that when we go further into the show. But yeah, had a great time.
All right, let's hop into our next segment.
Sporterklon oder hör mir zu, eine Sullivan oder eine Sullivan.
Anna Sullivan. Star Trek Prodigy, Season 1, Episode 18. Desperate to warn Starfleet of their dilemma, a daring experiment goes awry as Dahl inadvertently swaps with a Starfleet Vice Admiral. Why do they have to say like it's
I know,
not
it's like,
somebody
come on, who else is it going to be? Jellicoe?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Where am I? Why are we on this duty schedule? I want you in a uniform.
So
Sorry, Dal, we threw your body out in airlock.
Though before we move forward into pros and cons, I just want to say hello to Space Mom. Hi guys.
Big Space Mom.
You're at a Christmas party. Well, hope you had fun.
Oh, she left the Christmas party just to be with us. Look at that.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
She's gonna come back here a little tooted and just like,
Yeah.
I just love all you guys so much.
Just had one too many eggnogs, perhaps.
Yeah. And
Yep.
our friend Geek Filter just also pointed out Spock and T'Pring recently did it too, and that one
Yes.
was also great. So I forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's
not
right.
the
Yeah, we
first time
forgot about that. Good point there.
It's not the first time Trek has done body swap, because remember, not Janeway, I'm sorry, 7 of 9 and the Doctor did it as well.
Yes.
Oh wow.
They've done it a ton.
And
I think that's the point, though.
And of course, Captain Kirk was inside a woman in that one episode.
Just the
Turnabout
one
Intruder.
Each episode.
Yeah, Turnabout Intruder. What are you guys talking about? This is a
I
kid
have no
show.
idea. Let's move on.
This is a kid show.
Yes,
Decor.
yes.
Nasty old men.
All right, are we ready?
Ready for pros and
Pros and
cons?
cons.
I'm never ready.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
This episode to me was not the shit. It was so fun. The pseudoscience kind of threw me off because they're both in the warp tunnel,
Bubble.
in the warp bubble, and then the bubbles started to collide with each other, but there wasn't a rupture, and then the space
Here's the graphic to show you what they meant.
Yeah, that thing.
They both warp bubbles join to each other. That's how
Yeah.
they could do it.
I love both of these ships so much. They're just so pretty.
Aren't they? Even just the outline.
Yeah,
I like the
just so
proto
cool.
star.
graphic looks great.
Yeah.
Protostar is my favorite, and at first, whenever I saw the Dauntless, I was like, "That looks like if Goofy was a starship." But it's grown on me. I really like it.
Yeah,
It's very intimidating shit. No doubt about it.
I feel
It
the
is.
the Dauntless is like the death. What do you call it? The Super
Star
Star
Destroyer.
Destroyer. Yeah,
Superstar, yeah. Baby
it's like
Superstar
so
Destroyer.
big and yeah,
Yeah, it's intimidating.
it's very intimidating. I love it. I love it.
I mean, even all the shot like this, like
yeah, it's
you
like
know, the way they frame it in the animation, because even with they make the characters always look a little bit small. They do what they can to show the size of them.
Tell me
I love
that
that.
the Dauntless does not look like a Cylon in a sombrero, though. Throw that picture up there. Throw it up
There we go,
there.
hang on, look at it.
It's a Cylon in a sombrero, and he's got 2 little boobies. There you go. I've ruined the Dauntless. for you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
No,
tried to
no, I
keep-
don't
You're
like
welcome.
that ship. Now it's a con. No. No, I also really like that they realized the diviner is not who he says he is.
Took him long enough.
Yeah, it took him long enough, and now Janeway's got all the puzzles. I thought Chakotay. We were speculating for weeks that Chakotay was going to be the one to be like, "No, these kids are good kids," but that didn't happen. It was Janeway body swapping with Dahl that saved the day here and got her. But she's in the brig. What a cliffhanger!
Yes.
What a cliffhanger! What a
The
cliffhanger! All right,
cliffhanger was fantastic.
yeah. So singular, Jason. What did you think? What are your pros and cons?
Yeah, like some of my pros and cons. Yeah, which obviously I let the cat out of the bag with like Jason, Kate Mulgrew, and I've forgotten the other lad's name. Somebody Gray.
Brent Gray.
Brent
Brett
Gray.
Gray.
Yeah, amazing performances without. Yeah, I liked it. I even liked the spacewalk, which I was like,
Really?
when they're
That-
setting up for the inside the warp bubble spacewalk. I actually liked it, and I thought that scene worked quite well. You know,
It's
you
the
know, it
opening
looks like
credits
a
to
hokey
Discovery.
moment,
Yeah.
but how they connected, I loved, because it was like, I'm going to shoot you. That's
I know how we
we're
can connect. I'll shoot you.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Sounds like something Garrett
And
would
of
say.
course, the big pro, and I'll there's lots of other things I'll say, but I'll leave it on this pro because this will lead into, I know, something Jason wants to talk about. The Federation fleet at the end.
Ooh.
Like the setup at the end of this episode promises so much.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'll give it a big, pro because of the setup. I hope it pays off, though. I really do.
Mhm.
Because that was amazing. That was something I wasn't expecting. And then when I saw it, I thought, no, that's of course they'd be ready. Of course they're waiting.
The center of Federation space. You don't think they have a
Yeah.
fleet going? What up? You want to start something? You want to
What's up,
start?
bro?
What's up, bro?
What did you
I
think
wish
there would
that
only be one
when-
starship in the sector? When does that ever happen?
Yeah,
Never.
exactly.
Except for those other times.
But yeah,
All right.
great little scene. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it for me.
fantastic. Jason and Jason's body.
Oh goodness.
Oh goodness.
I loved it. I loved it all. I did. I'm just gonna repeat a lot of what's already been said. Kate Mulgrew, who is a fantastic and accomplished voice actor,
Mhm.
emulated Doll perfectly. And Brett Gray, who I never heard of him before this show, but he did a fantastic. I love that
Finger
picture.
gun.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there you
He
go.
did a
Yeah.
fantastic Kate Mulgrew, and I think that Brett Gray in particular needs some kudos because he did Kate Mulgrew without making it a caricature of Kate Mulgrew. He was simply Janeway in Doll's body. Now, Doll, he was a little bit more cringy, I thought, but it was a kid's show, and you've got to have that humor in there. And I laughed several times, and I thought Kate Mulgrew was just so hilarious. The fleet was awesome.
And it wasn't copy paste fleet like we've seen in other Star Trek episodes.
Well, if
Now,
you
Jason did provide me
my
some
message earlier, it is a copy and paste fleet because there's
Mm.
only 5 types of starships in
Oh,
the
that's
entire
right.
fleet.
Yeah.
There is the look. You
You can see your wall. Is that your house?
That's my house. Yes.
Oh, we can see the ghosts there too.
But I've got
yeah.
those pictures, Jace, if you wanted to go through.
Okay,
them.
so there's our Akira class, which is just brilliant and I love. And then there's the Sovereign. There were at least five Sovereigns in that last picture, and I think it's great that they've got this great-looking, wonderful, beautiful starship, and they're exploiting her now. There's the Defiant. Wouldn't it be awesome if it was the Defiant with Worf?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be an
Oh, that'd be
unexpected
cool.
guest star?
That'd be really cool.
And then I believe that's a Luna class, which is Captain Riker's ship,
yeah, the Titan,
the Titan. Yes,
the smaller Titan, not the Titan A that we're gonna get in Picard.
yes, not the Titan A. And then my favorite was this obscure ship that appeared once on Deep Space Nine in that episode where they took the Jim Hadar ship and were going to go on that mission. That is a Centaur class ship, and that's a kit bash.
Mm.
It's a kit bash with
It's like
Excelsior
Reliant
parts.
with okay.
Yeah. And I've got kind of a soft spot for that ship, and I was so happy to see it. And I thought, of all ships, why the Centaur? I'm not complaining, but I like it. But yeah, only 5 starships, and they copied and pasted those 5 starships. But it's so much more effective than just one over and over and over and over and over again.
Can I just say, though, they missed out on putting the most important Starfleet vehicle ever created, and that's this.
Yes.
Where was that?
The
Yes.
runabout.
The 1993 Pontiac, whatever that was. What did they call that? The Astrovan?
Astrovan, yeah, that's why.
Oh. Hey, you
How
know
fitting.
what? Say what you will about it. Whenever that thing came out, that was cutting edge technology.
that was.
All the kids
I want
wanted a
that
Pontiac
vehicle
Astrovan.
More than anything in life right now, I want that vehicle.
Oh,
on my
it's so
driveway.
beautiful. I want that paint job.
Yeah, that kit was pretty cool. Yeah.
Joe's going, I just want a car.
No, I've got a car. I actually have a nice car.
I'm the one who needs the car.
It's the only thing that I can say. Look at my car. Look at my car.
Can I mention another real pro too?
Sure.
The interaction between both Janeways to kind of solve the problem.
Great scene. That was
Yeah.
such a great scene.
Yeah, that was really great. When they're just trying to figure out what they're going to do.
And I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys know this, but they canonized Janeway's sister, who only appeared before in the novelization of the novel Mosaic, which was written by oh my gosh, I've forgotten her name. She was a co-creator of Voyager.
I've gone blank too.
I can't
She was
remember
around
her.
forever too.
It'll pop into my
Jerry
head and I'll
Taylor?
scream. Yes, Jerry Taylor
You
wrote this
well
book.
done, Jace.
Yeah, wrote this book Mosaic and established that Janeway's sister was named Phoebe, and here we are 20, 30 years later, and it's canonized on screen finally.
That's
Phoebe
pretty
Janeway
cool.
is a person who exists.
That's
Hey.
really cool.
Hey.
But I love that they have that much respect for canon and all the backstory that's already there, and they don't feel like they need to needlessly invent something when it already exists. And
Yeah,
I
that's
respect that.
smart.
I respect that they respect what's come before, while at the same time forging their own path.
100%.
Well done. Well said. All right, let's see what our friends are saying here in the away room.
Yep.
Body swapping has been used many times throughout Star Trek, from TOS to Prodigy.
I told you,
Yep.
Captain
then-
Kirk was getting in all those women all the time.
Space
Hey.
Mom did get in the eggnog, but
Yeah.
also
Yeah. Merry Christmas. I got the eggnog.
Nog.
Oh, Kirk has been inside many women.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
know that there were that many body swapping episodes, so I'll have to go take a look and see what they're talking about.
Nita says that it was fun, but they've done better episodes. And
Maybe,
then
but it was fun. That's
was a lot
that's
of
the
fun,
key word.
yeah.
It was fun.
and they are leaving Chakotay for far to the future as they possibly can.
Yeah, what do we
Yes.
think about that?
What did the
Because,
future
they
ever
are
do
not-
to them, though?
This is clearly a mystery that's going to keep going for a while.
Yeah.
It seems like it anyway, unless they quickly resolve it in the next 2 episodes. But could this be?
Hi,
they dare
I'm
go to a next
Chakotay.
season?
Now I have to return to my own planet. Do, 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 do.
Bye, Poochie. Yeah. Yeah.
Akuche Moya, everyone.
Oh, man. And I this is great.
Antennas, you're in
Tennis.
charge.
We're in
That's
charge. I
You're
was
in
laughing so hard.
Do you think that that's like a racial slur or something? That was
I don't know,
No,
really.
I hope not. Poor guy. Who else
was-
felt
oh,
the
this
diviners
is
seemed to be
interesting.
training? Ooh, that's a good one.
It did feel like he was making far less aggressive choices for our
Right.
episode.
And he let her
Right,
go.
Yes.
And that's I think that's one part we're going to get to. But yeah, let's deal with that. He let her go. Is that based upon a sense of honor or a sense of what he believes is right and wrong? Or is this also part of his master plan?
I think
Because he's
that
always
he-
been 4 or 5 steps ahead.
I think that he already thinks that it's too late. That the living construct is going to infect all the other Federation starships, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it.
That's an
And-
excellent point. So
and I
think
that's
that-
it. It's done.
I think he still hates Starfleet. He still blames Starfleet, but this woman, Vice Admiral Janeway, was kind to him, and he's going to be kind back.
Mm,
Fair call.
good call. Good call. Aaron Waltuke told me that this rendered before CBS started working on STO. Otherwise, they would have done more.
Well, for what they had, they did a great job.
They
with
did a
it.
great job. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that there were only 5 starship classes until I looked at it a second time. And of course, that's not counting the Protostar and the Dauntless.
Yeah, like you said, it was based on the kindness that she showed him.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Oh, we're moving on. We're out of
We're
here. We're
moving
going
on.
to take a break, don't we?
Oh,
Yeah,
take a break.
let's have a break. Let's see us.
At the edge of the universe, 400 men and women are probing the immeasurable blackness of space. Their leaders are an Earthman with no fear and a stranger with no heart. Travel beyond our time and solar system, into new galaxies, into worlds beyond your dreams. Star Trek, every week, in color on the NBC television network.
That
Okay.
that last part was painful.
Who wanted to start singing "The Land of the Lost"?
A little bit.
Yeah, a
Definitely
little
had a
bit.
darker tone. And who knew it had a comment by one of our viewers embedded into the original commercial? One joke.
Thank you.
Some temporal shenanigans going
Maybe
on here.
you won't see that because I was trying to reply to her telling her there's a dog, my dog.
You learned something then.
Yeah.
So,
All right, let's move on, mate.
Roby.
This is terrible. I like it.
I
Rogue,
like it.
the eternal
Yeah.
blackness of space, just like Captain Kirk.
Ah,
Probes the eternal blackness.
Are we
probes
satisfied
everything's
with the
space.
eventual realization of Janeway that these kids are actually trying to help?
I'm happy with
Oh
it.
yeah.
Because it's a big moment we get in this episode. I suppose something we haven't talked about is the fact that it finally dawns on her. Oh, these are good kids and da 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 da.
I think it gives extra weight to the conversation with Hologram Janeway later, that Hologram Janeway is all over herself because she's screwed up and she was used and she's basically sabotaged the mission. And whenever Vice Admiral Janeway is talking to her, Vice Admiral Janeway is coming from a position where she has screwed up and she has sabotaged the mission.
Yeah.
And so they're both having this conversation about let's make the best out of this mess that we've made. Which I thought
How
was
about
great.
the
It's
other? This is
accountability.
another moment I want to talk about too, which was like, wow, the reveal by Janeway that Dale will never be able to join Starfleet.
Yeah, because he's augmented.
He's augmented.
Yeah.
That's a game changer for that guy.
Kind of knew that was coming though, but I mean, it's still like a knife in the heart.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
we knew it was coming, but it was a moment that I think is now going to drive narratively quite strong. I reckon the next season because he's going to lash out.
He is, and I've got an idea about how this might be resolved, which I will save for future speculation. But
yeah, hold on to that one for there.
Yeah, I will hold on to it just like hold on.
By the way, I know this is our moment we can talk about anything. How dope is your Green Lantern Christmas sweater?
Yeah,
by the way?
exactly. I was like, that for an ugly Christmas
That
sweater.
is
That's really
amazing.
cool.
I love it. I bought this last year whenever it went on sale, and this is my first time wearing it. So yeah, I've been sorting this thing all day. Went into this grocery store with it. Everybody looking at me, going, "Oh my gosh, look at that loser!" And just
soaking it up.
Is that Jason from the Captain's Quadrant? He's not Australian. What the heck?
You know, I did.
Quick, let's go the other way.
Yeah, somebody looked at me today and was like, and like pointed at me, and I waved, and I was like, I wonder if it's from the Captain's Quadrant. And then then I wondered.
You probably walked away and went, I think that's a dude owes me $10.
Yeah, and my thing is like, oh, I hope there's not a criminal that looks like me that's running around robbing people. That's the guy that's robbing people. But yeah, I really want to know, now that we're in the end game for the season, is this ship gonna wake up, the living construct, and then all those ships are gonna start fighting each other, or it's gonna be all chaos?
That would be awesome if it did.
Yeah, but you're talking about, guys, I think
construct just for the spectacle.
Yeah, I think that's a future speculation. But before we go there, you want to check the comments, Captain?
Yes, absolutely. Since my mom is a little buzzed, is that Teddy or Texas Jason's cute dog barking in the background?
Are they insinuating that my dog's cuter than Teddy?
No,
he has a heart. He just suppresses his emotions. Is Nita referring to the Diviner or to Dal?
They're talking about
Diviner.
Mr. Spock from the promo. A man without a heart.
Oh yes. This is from the promo.
Oh yeah. That was such an early. Coming back to that commercial. Was there a real dark tone feel?
It was.
And it reminded me of some like the way they drew it and designed it. It's very reminiscent of science fiction paperback covers to me.
Yeah.
That kind of Dune type of aesthetic drawings and just the feel about it. I thought it was.
I just love that it's a space show and they put the title in a rock face.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Star Trek. The tale of some geologists.
Yeah.
The heart.
She's happy. I am buzzed.
Wow.
All right. Here's a
Okay, is that
good
it?
one. No.
I
I had a hunch
Dahl
Dahl was going to be able to join Starfleet. I am curious to see how he will react.
I do believe he's going to act out, and I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to be in a mature way. I think he's going to really just go off the table, and he'll have to come back from a bit of a journey because this is a kid who's already felt rejection a lot of his life, right?
Right.
Yes.
And the one bit of hope that he has is to be joining Starfleet. The thing that's hanging out, that's brought him out of the shell, is going to be denied from him. The kid's going to have a meltdown.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Justifiably so.
Who's going to
Sorry,
tell
what
him?
did Nita say? Sorry, Joe, you're going a bit. What was the one?
Guys, who do you think will start the conversation about? I think she means Dahl.
Dahl.
Yeah.
It's
Who's going to tell him?
Gwen will have to tell him.
Yeah, it has to be Gwen.
But I don't think
It
she'll
has
be
to be
able to
Gwen.
tell. I don't think she will tell him right away because I think that things are going to be crazy and she won't have a chance to.
Yeah.
I would suggest if she does reveal it, I would absolutely see that being a end of the episode finale little cliffhanger.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
he finds out right at there. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be cool if she held on to it for like a season.
Oh,
That'd be
that
something
commercial
that
had
pays
a
off
Disney
later
black
down the
hole
track.
feel. It did.
Yeah.
That did feel like the black hole.
Yes,
Pete
that's a
Filton's
great
point.
description.
Yeah.
That's a great description.
Captain
For
Kirk
really
probing the black hole.
I remember seeing that at the cinema, the black hole. Hey, I saw that at the movies and remember really feeling uncomfortable as a young child seeing that movie.
Oh.
I will say
It never
right
sat
now,
well with me as a young kid.
I know this is kind of off the rails a little bit, but the Cygnus I thought was one of the creepiest spaceships I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And to me, whenever it lit itself up, I was like, wow, that's beautiful, but I'm very uncomfortable right now.
Yeah,
You know what?
I'm
You know what
glad I didn't
Starship?
feel-
Go ahead. You glad you didn't feel what?
Oh, I'm glad I don't feel alone about that.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I
have to watch it.
I
I've never
came to appreciate it, but it didn't scar me, but it left a bit of a negative impact on me from seeing that. So.
It's a little boring. It's a little stale, and it's a strange time for Disney because they were trying to be more adult and that they were still trying to do like the little kitty cute characters and everything. But it's interesting. It's Disney's answer to 2001. Not a fully successful one.
And it had Anthony Perkins, who's amazing.
Oh, yeah, and Maximilian Schell, and just I love
great
that.
cast.
Yes.
So Anita says, I think he will prove himself worthy of the Federation by saving the Federation from this, and Janeway will help him get in.
Well, that would probably be the easy out. I would hope that you're right. He will do something heroic at the end of it to be able to let in. But I reckon they're not going to do that until close to the end of the show. Like, that could be his gold medal moment, you know.
Yeah.
Is getting, we're now going to accept you into, because that's where the show finishes, right? Let's be really honest. The show finishes with them all in Starfleet Academy, right?
Yeah.
That's the natural final scenes of the show, I would think, anyway, just showing them they're all in.
Or maybe they could just be in, like, they'll be on a starship and learning, and they'll be ensigns.
I hope not. If my wish for it is that they're all off learning and becoming Starfleet in their special fields. So they'll separate at the end, but they'll be doing what they love. So
Interesting. Oh, well, that's a future speculation for sure.
That's a way future speculation.
Way future
But it's
speculation.
out there now. It's too bad.
It's in the ether. You've done
It's
it.
in the ether.
All right, let's go on to future speculations.
I ask you, Captain, what conclusion would you draw?
I love it when I break my own rules. That's in future speculations. And then, by the way,
Yeah. Now, Jason and Jason's body. I got a question for you when it comes to the future speculation for next week.
name still makes me feel uncomfortable.
Jason, inside Jason would be
Probing the eternal darkness.
So next week we think that the construct is going to wake up and start nabbing all the ships and probably cause complete chaos. Maybe the protostar will be souped up because of it, maybe, and just wail on all those ships. Do you think it'll be like an annihilation, or do you think it'll make all the ships crazy, kind of like the space station, and start shooting? This is an open question to both Jasons.
I think that I'm hoping we're going to get the spectacle to see exactly what the living construct can do to a fleet like that. And that is going to be just an incredible scene, I think. It's just seeing all these ships just waylay on each other. Yeah.
Question though around that, just to remind me again, how does it spread its virus? Does it have to have physical contact with the ship?
Either physical contact or it has to transfer some kind of data, like a comm signal or a file transfer or something like that.
Yeah.
It's basically like a computer virus.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm thinking this is, again, it's not really speculation. This is just me hoping, because I like pew pew bang bang. I just want to see that spectacle. And I think in a show aimed for kids, I think it's a pretty good bet that's what's going to happen. Now, here's my future speculation, because we've kind of reached a point that I think that the whole Protostar and the Run story has kind of reached a natural conclusion. And I think that after this season, it's going to be more of a Protostar Lost, because I think that season 2 is going to find the Protostar thrown into the future, because it's got to at some point, because that's where Chakotay be.
It's got to displace them, doesn't it?
Yes.
And it's going to be less about, well, these kids brought this starship home, that's great, let's kick Dahl out of Starfleet. How do we keep Dahl on the show? Well, we put them someplace where they can't bring the starship back unless they find somebody who can help them, and that's going to be Captain Sleepy Face. But I'm going to go a step further and say that to get to Captain Boring Pants, they're going to have to.
You really like this guy.
I have absolutely nothing against Captain Coma, nothing at all. But I would like to see next season, again, complete speculation. Why not have the Protostar journey through time every few episodes? Maybe they could end up in the 32nd century and run into Captain Burnham. Maybe they could go all the way back to the 23rd century and run into Captain Pike. And maybe at some point they end up back in the 24th century, where Dahl meets one Julian Bashir, an augmented human who is in Starfleet.
Whoa! There you go.
Or perhaps the Defiant class ship that we saw in the fleet is the Defiant, and on board
is Julian Bashir.
Oh, that would be can't let you into. Excuse me, I do believe that I am.
I want that show, but can I add one thing to it that I would like?
No,
it's a great comment. I gotta put
in the future, Janeway accidentally gets sent with them.
I don't think that Admiral Janeway.
I would love to have actual Admiral Janeway part of the show a bit more permanently.
I think that we got we got holographic Janeway. I think that's fine.
Emperor.
And
Emperor Janeway.
Emperor Janeway. Oh, Emperor Georgiou. Wouldn't that be a cool, come across Emperor Georgiou at some point? I don't know. I just think it would be a fun way to kind of keep the concept going. And now, instead of trying to find the Federation, now they're trying to find a way to get back to their own time. Maybe the ship is being jerked back and forth like Quantum Leap. Jerked back and forth.
The genius idea of that concept.
Just like Captain... Oh, sorry. Yes.
Oh, God.
The genius idea around that concept is what a way to introduce all this new generation to all the legacy shows.
Yes,
yeah.
Protostar. Oh my gosh. Prodigy has been so great about that, about introducing all these audiences to older Star Trek.
Yeah, because they had Spock.
Yes, they had all these legacy characters show up. And it was so wonderful. That is one of my favorite things. I mean, come on, they came across the planet of the cosplayers.
Yeah.
That was so wonderful.
Yeah.
I want to see more. I want to see that. Paramount, hire me. Hire me.
Hire all of us. We'll do the after show instead of Will Wheaton. Give him a break. We'll do it.
Hey, there's somebody who could join the crew. Will Wheaton.
Yeah, and then we could take over the other
traveler.
Yeah, he's the traveler. It's like, what are you guys doing on this ship? Oh no, now I'm stuck on this ship with you. Well, can't you get us home with your traveler? Well, here's the thing. I'm really not that good of a traveler. I'm sorry.
All right, Jason, tell us, what are your future speculations?
My future, I have nothing more to add than his theory is so good, and I want it to be. It's drowned out any of my theory. No, of course they're going to have a massive conflict in the next episode with the ship. You don't set up that scenario without, pardon the French, the shit going down. Something's going to happen. But I've got to be really honest with you. I don't really have an idea of how they get to the point or where they end that season. I hope it's what Jason's saying. I would love that to be. But will it be? I Probably not. So where do they end up? I've got no idea. So as for future speculations, I'll say what I normally generally say. That I can predict that I'll be watching it next week.
I think that this one is great. This is what's going to happen in the future. From our friend Geek Filter, Chakotay was exploring the Delta Quadrant, searching for personality. Well said.
It's going to
sir.
take him a while.
Yeah.
You know,
72 years.
Something we did not even mention that I can't believe we forgot to mention, but how awesome was it that Threshold got a shout out in this episode?
The salamander line.
I turned into a salamander once, and they're just like, I'm sorry, what? You did what now? It was an episode that won an Emmy. The episode you turned into a salamander won an Emmy.
Oh,
but the implication of that joke though is pretty good though, because as an adult you go, yeah, man, she banged one of her ensigns. Oh no, the pilot.
Yeah. She Nita loved the reference too.
We did that. We did do that as part of the Agony.
Yeah, that was Agony.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we definitely did that
was
episode.
one of the
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Brilliant
All right.
stuff.
So, are we doing a question this week?
Yeah, you telling me we're not going to have my favorite segment on the show?
The producer's
Sitting
like,
on
of
the
course we're going to have
producer.
a segment.
We've got to do it.
It's time for stupid Star Trek questions.
All right, that
Shreddy's
stupid
related.
Star Trek question came in via one of Jason's audience. Thank you very much. This is apologies for this one.
Next question. Oh,
So,
what's
a Klingon urinal bidet look like? Are there two holes, two streams of washy-washy?
That was
What's great about this stupid Star Trek questions, it seems dumb, but there's actually some thought goes into this. It's actually a very good question.
I have had questions ever since that scene in Discovery where we learned that Klingons have two of them. I just had questions.
Okay.
Like the first thing I thought of was, did the Rozhinkos knew whenever they adopted Worf, or did they like try to give him a bath one day and they're like, oh my gosh, Gregor, come take a look at this.
You'll never believe what they found at Bent's.
I still think it's a Brian Fuller
side
kind
like
of
a
way of
shotgun,
screwing
or are
with
they
Star
one on
Trek.
top of the other? That's what. Are they like the alien that just kind of comes out like?
Oh
I
my
don't know.
god!
These are the things I wonder whenever I'm home alone
No,
and the
but
power
how
goes
about
out.
wonder this then? It's a reproductive organ.
Yes.
So you're implying to me if there are two penises, therefore it'd be two vaginas. And if you're going to have two vaginas,
Girls
you
have
would two
vaginas,
sets of
boys have penis.
uteruses, and the capacity to have two children at the same time in a different womb. That's where I'm taking it.
Or do the two babies fight to the death,
Exactly, in the womb.
and the victor emerges triumphant,
That's exactly where I was going
covered
to go
in blood,
for.
going
For
"Kapla!"
instance, holding up a little mini kind of the weapon in the
Yes,
air that comes
It has
out.
fashioned its own umbilical cord into a batleth.
Yes, there we go. But it does raise that question. If you bring that into it, that's where it leads to, right? Because
Yeah.
why would a male Klingon have two penises?
Well,
Unless-
would you like to know the real-world scientific explanation?
Well, yes,
of
I do.
course you do.
Well, Miss Gungor definitely
That's
wants
why I
to know.
watched the
That's why she asked the
show.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
So, in the animal kingdom, whenever animals have arguably two things down there, I'm trying not to get us demonetized. One of them functions as any normal one would. The other one functions as a clasper. Yes, that silence says
very
it all.
Klingon. That's very Klingon-like too,
Yes.
isn't it?
Exactly. So one is for clasping and one is for,
Okay, so really one isn't a penis. One's just like another way of an arm, little mini.
It's like a
kind of
little
locking device.
crab. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. I'll go with that.
did Troy
I'll go
know
with
what she
that.
was getting into when she initiated?
Yeah. So from the audience,
I
we've
could
got
just, what? Oh my gosh, Worf, what is that? What do you think it is? I don't know. What do human men not have? No, they don't have these. Oh, well, this is
How does
awkward.
this work?
yeah.
Worf, this isn't going to work out.
That's why they didn't end up together. All right. So here's
what-
some.
what
Of
are the
course,
guys
Jed
saying
Dia was
about this?
she
Yeah.
was trill in the streets and a Klingon.
They
man.
pee
on
on
their
their
batleth.
batleth. All right. She's thinking
According to
maybe
Lower
side
Decks,
by
they
side.
poop on their
Side by
batleth.
side by side. Yeah.
I always think side by side.
Klingon today shoots hot water.
Scalding water. That's the only way to clean yourself.
That
is to clean yourself with honor.
Only the strong will survive.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a good point, our geek filter. Unless one is for sex and the other one's for urination.
It could be. It could be.
But how do you know which is which?
Not very efficient.
You don't want to get those mixed up, though.
If they have to, they can go all night.
Oh, watch out now.
I think after a while you'd be pretty sore if you're with a Klingon.
Yeah.
A lot of pointy ridges.
Yeah. Well, this was the most informative stupid Star Trek question we've ever gotten.
It's a classy segment, and I love it.
Join us next week for more stupid Star Trek questions.
I did it again. I pushed the button.
What's going on with the pop-ups, Joe? Through the bumpers today.
I keep pushing the button.
Yeah, you keep pushing things.
We keep pushing lots of buttons with this show.
So that wraps up another wonderful episode of the Captain's Quadrant. Thank you so much for joining us, all of you, into the fray. Make sure you subscribe to us, Spectrum Sanctorum. That's the name of the channel. This is the Captain's Quadrant, and check out our other shows, which these two gentlemen are wonderfully doing. They are the Power of J Skull. Get it? Get it? And they're doing She-Ra right now. It's very good.
We're doing the Christmas special next.
And
that's right. The Christmas
coming
special
up
next
on
week.
the 24th of December, Christmas Eve. Join us as we're going to celebrate Christmas the only way possible, with He-Man and She-Ra in their Christmas special.
And 80s cartoon violence.
Yes. And if you're on TikTok, we are part of Trek Talk with everyone else that we've met there. It's been a lot of fun, and I thank you all. You can follow me on at Disdungeon. You can follow Australia Jason at VHS Jace. You can follow Texas Jason or Jason in Jason. Jason Roy Gaston, and our friend Philomena at Philomath Boots. I think that's everything.
Yes, we've forgotten to add Vulcan Diver. She'll be back in a couple of weeks too.
Oh yeah, and I've changed actually. Just want to let you guys know that I am now Disdungeon CQ for Captain's Quadrant. So I just want to let you guys know.
Okay.
I'm
very nice.
Merging both the podcasts that I'm on.
Honor.
Right, okay.
Honor.
You know, I don't like crossing the streams, Joe, but
hey, there we go. Do you cross the streams if you're a Klingon?
That is a good question.
Crossing the streams is without.
Can you imagine
honor.
the control P writing your name in the snow with your P?
You could do it. You could write your first and your last name at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, subscribe to the best podcast. That's right.
We call the act.
Thanks, Nita.
Thank you, Nita. Yeah. All right, friends. Until next time. Live long and prosper.
See you guys.